Let's talk about Arsenal. This is a story of a legendary football club, but it's really a tale of incredible highs and crushing lows. We're talking about hitting absolute perfection, then a frustrating fall, and the long, painful climb back to the top. And it all kicks off with one almost unbelievable number. Here it is, 49. Just think about that for a second. From May 2003 to October 2004, Arsenal played 49 league games in a row, and they didn't lose a single one. Not one. It was a run that made them seem, well, completely unstoppable. And inside that incredible run is this number, 0. Because for one whole season, the 2003-04 campaign, Arsenal's loss column read 0. It's a level of footballing immortality that just doesn't happen. It hadn't been done in over a century, and it hasn't been done since. So that brings us to the real puzzle here. The core question of this whole story. How on earth does a team that achieves literal perfection, a team known as the Invincibles, follow that up with almost a decade of frustration? The answer? Well, it's about a revolution, a brand new home, and the painful price of progress. Okay, so our story really starts back in 1996. A French manager named Arsène Wenger arrives. Now, you have to understand, he wasn't a big-name coach. He wasn't a famous ex-player. He was coming from a club in Japan, and the English football world was, let's just say, deeply skeptical. And this headline says it all. This is what one of the London newspapers ran with. Arsène who? And they were being serious. It was a genuine question. Nobody knew who this guy was. But he was about to change absolutely everything. Wenger's changes were immediate, and they were radical. I mean, look at this. Before him, it was pints of beer after a match. Under him, pasta, chicken, and vegetables. Old-school training sessions were thrown out for a scientific approach to fitness. And instead of just signing British players, he built a global scouting network to find talent everywhere. It was a total shock to the system. And the results of that revolution? Well, the absolute peak, the masterpiece, was the creation of a team that would go down in history, the Invincibles. This was Wenger's vision made real. So what does invincible actually mean in football terms? It means you play 38 games, you play every team in the league, home and away, and you never lose, not once. They even got a special, one-of-a-kind golden Premier League trophy for it. It's just a mythical level of consistency. And this was the team that did it. What a lineup. It was just a perfect mix of power and art. You had the leadership of Patrick Vieira in the middle, the pure magic of Dennis Bergkamp up front, and the lightning speed and lethal finishing of Thierry Henry. Every single player was a master of their role. You know, the team's own captain, Patrick Vieira, said it perfectly. He said this wasn't some grand plan from day one. It just happened. It was the natural result of this special group of players who reached a state of perfect harmony, where they genuinely believed they couldn't be beaten. But here is where our story takes a sharp, dramatic turn. Right at the height of their powers, the club made a decision. It was a decision that was absolutely vital for its future, but it would come at a staggering cost to its present. It was time to build a new home. So Arsenal left Highbury, their historic, intimate home, for 93 years. And they moved to the massive, modern Emirates Stadium. The logic made sense, right? Billionaire owners were taking over other clubs, so to compete with giants like Manchester United and a newly rich Chelsea, they needed more money. A bigger stadium was the only way to get it. And here's the price tag, £390 million. For a football club in the mid-2000s to finance that, mostly on its own, it was a colossal amount of money. This number basically put the club in a financial straitjacket that would define the next decade. So what happened next was, for the fans, a really painful period. All the money that used to go to signing world-class players was now being used to pay off the stadium loan. The era of dominance was over. The era of austerity had begun. 9 years. From the FA Cup win in 2005 to the next one in 2014, Arsenal went 9 full years without winning a single trophy. For a fan base that had gotten used to perfection, this felt like an absolute eternity. And because of the financial pressure, Arsenal had to become a selling club. One by one, the heroes and the new stars who replaced them were sold. Cole, Henry, Fabregas, Nasri, and then the most painful one of all. Their captain, Robin van Persie, was sold to their biggest rivals, Manchester United. The team was literally being dismantled piece by piece. And this quote from Van Persie, man, it stung the fans. It perfectly captured the club's decline. Their own captain said he had to leave because he didn't believe he could win trophies at Arsenal anymore. He went to Manchester United and won the league that very next season. It was the ultimate symbol of how far the club had fallen. But after those years of drought, and after the emotional departure of Arsène Wenger himself, a new chapter finally began. The focus shifted from just surviving to actively rebuilding. It was going to be a long, tough road back to the top. After 22 years, the man who had defined the entire modern era of the club was gone. His farewell really felt like the end of an institution, and it left a massive job for whoever came next, to build a new Arsenal, basically from scratch. And that job fell to a former player, Mikel Arteta. He came in with a very clear 3-step plan. First, fix the culture. Restore discipline. Get rid of players who didn't want to be there. Second, invest in youth. Build a new team around young, hungry players who could grow together. And third, once that foundation was solid, get back to competing for the biggest trophies. And this is the result of that whole project. A new core of incredible talent. You've got players like Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, and William Saliba, now joined by huge signings like Declan Rice. They've brought that energy, that hunger, and that quality back to the club. These guys are the face of the new Arsenal. Which, funnily enough, brings us right back to the club's very foundation. Their official motto, right there on the crest, is Victoria Concordia Crescit. It's Latin for victory through harmony. It was the harmony of the Invincibles that led to perfection, and it was the lack of it during the drought years that led to so much frustration. And so we end on this question. After all the financial struggles, the painful goodbyes, and the years of rebuilding, has Arsenal finally rediscovered the harmony it needs to win again? That long road back seems to be nearing its end, but only time will tell if perfection can ever be reached once more.